I don't think I ever learned how to be alone until now. Not really. I moved from relationship to relationship for most of my life, always tethered to someone, always orienting myself around a shared future, a shared rhythm, a shared sense of who I was allowed to be. And now at 39, for the first time in my life, I'm alone. Not in a dramatic way, not in a sudden, explosive way, just here, with myself. Solitude didn't feel like something I chose. It felt like something that happened to me, something that arrived quietly and stayed. At first, the silence was unsettling. There were moments where I felt too loud, like it was pointing at everything I didn't know how to answer yet. Evenings stretched longer than I expected. Mornings felt different without someone else's energy in the room. I noticed how often my instinct was to reach forward, to check in, to share a thought, to anchor myself to another person, and how often there was no one there to catch the reflex. That absence made me realize just how much my life had been shaped around togetherness, around being chosen, around being needed. For so long, I didn't question that. It wasn't wrong, it was just familiar. I learned who I was through partnership. I made decisions with someone else in mind. I adjusted, I softened, I expanded, and sometimes shrank myself in ways that felt natural at times. I don't hold judgment around that. I love deeply, I committed fully. But what I'm seeing now in the quiet is how little uninterrupted space I ever gave myself to ask who I was without attachment, not who I was for someone, but who I was when no one was watching, when no one was responding, when no one was reflecting me back. There's a particular kind of fear that comes with that realization. It's subtle, but it's real. It's the fear of not knowing how to define yourself without being held in someone else's story. The fear of asking, if I'm not a partner, a wife, a half of something, then who am I? That question doesn't arrive all at once. It comes in waves, in the grocery store, in the quiet moments before sleep, in the small decisions that suddenly belong only to you. And sometimes it feels heavy, sometimes it feels lonely, and sometimes, surprisingly, it feels like relief. What I'm learning is that forced solitude doesn't come to punish you. It comes to reveal you, but it doesn't rush. It doesn't explain itself. It just removes the noise and waits. And that waiting can feel unbearable at first. But without distraction, without constant connection, you start to hear your own inner voice more clearly. And sometimes that voice carries grief. Sometimes it carries anger. Sometimes it carries truth you didn't know how to hold before. But underneath all of that, there's also something steadier, something quieter, something that feels like you. I've noticed how solitude asks different questions than relationships do. Relationships often ask, how do we fit together? Solitude asks, what do you actually want? Relationship asks, how do we keep this? Solitude asks, what are you ready to let go of? There's no one to negotiate with here, no one to convince, no one to adapt for. Just an ongoing, sometimes uncomfortable conversation with yourself. And I'm learning to stay with it instead of rushing to fill the space. Some days, being alone feels expansive. I feel grounded in my body. I notice my own rhythms. I make choices without explaining them. Other days, it feels tender. There's grief for the life I thought I'd still be living. There's sadness for the version of me who tries so hard to make things work. And I'm learning that both can exist at the same time. Grief and clarity, loss and self-discovery. One doesn't cancel the other out. What's surprising me most is how defined this season is becoming. Not in a loud, transformative way, not in a reinvent yourself overnight kind of way, but in a slow, honest way. Forced solitude strips away the parts of identity that were built around approval and attachment. It shows you where you outsource your sense of self, and gently, sometimes painfully, it invites you to take that responsibility back, to sit with yourself long enough to recognize your own needs, your own desire, your own boundaries. I'm realizing I don't need to rush to name who I am now. I don't need to label. I don't need a new story that ties everything up neatly. This season isn't finished by nature, and that's okay. There's something sacred about allowing yourself to be undefined for a while, to be becoming instead of arrive, to let identity form organically instead of being shaped by who you're attached to. If you're listening to this and you're in a season of forced solitude too, whether it's from a breakup, a loss, a life change, or simply a quiet unraveling, I want you to know this. There's nothing wrong with you for feeling unsteady. You're not behind, you're not failing. You're in the middle of learning how to belong to yourself. And that is not a small thing, that's a foundational thing. Solitude doesn't mean you'll always be alone. It just means that right now, you're being asked to meet yourself without distraction, to define yourself without an audience, to learn what feels true when there's no one else shaping the answer. And even though it's hard, even though it can ache, it's also honest. And honesty, I'm learning, is where the real strength grows.